What's good, y'all? We back. Got a new video. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're about to compare the 22 draft with the 23 draft. Got it in front of us. We had time to really think, sleep on it. Let's get right into it. This year's draft, first overall pick was Skoronski, which was on a lot of people's board a no-brainer pick if he's on the board for the Tennessee Titans, with the left side of the line being as bad as it was last year. So we definitely feel the position of need. Last year's draft, the blockbuster trade, the one that broke a lot of hearts, AJ Brown leaving, going to the Eagles, and we draft Treylon Burks, a stud out of Arkansas. When you look at it, if we're going to compare round for round, that year we gave up AJ Brown to get that pick. And you can't help but look at the production of AJ Brown. Even though Treylon Burks is the best receiver on the Tennessee Titans roster, I feel like if we go round for round, this year's first round pick with Skoronski was better than last year trading away AJ Brown and getting Treylon Burks. All right, day one in the books. We're going to move on to day two. I figured it'd be easier for us to compare like this because you have more picks in last year's draft and this year's draft. So let's get into day two. 2023 draft, you trade up, you get Will Levis. I still feel like you could have traded back and got more value, got more picks in this year's draft if you would have traded back. But nevertheless, you take Will Levis, quarterback. You take Tajay Spears, two guys that was on a lot of people's draft board, obviously in day two. And then last year, you're getting Roger McCreary, a rookie out of Auburn cornerback, who played the entire season and gave us quality minutes. Seeing that Christian Fulton and Caleb Farley was out in and out throughout the most of the season. So he was definitely a constant in the secondary and definitely got better and developed more over the year. NPF definitely stepped into that right tackle role since Jack Conklin, Isaiah Wilson to Questenberry going to the Bills. He definitely looks like he's going to be the right tackle for us. Definitely I felt like was one of the solid points in the line that played all year. So there's definitely two rookies that played a lot of minutes, a lot of snaps for the Tennessee Titans last year. And then of course the last pick in day two was Malik Willis, a quarterback that just like Will Levis fell down out of that first round. We wound up picking him up, getting good value. I feel like even though he may not have progressed to where we all think he could have or should have, he did come in and compete in the Chiefs game, going to overtime, and actually being on the field. Even though we had to bring in Josh Dobbs towards the end of the season, maybe he might not have been where the team needed him to be at that point in time. But I can't put all the blame on him because, the DUI, Todd Downing, we didn't win a game after that. And then John Robinson getting fired. Of course, it was definitely a storm brewing in Nashville. So what do y'all think? Who y'all think was the better selections in day two, last year or this year? I think the upside for this year is better, but I can't overlook the quality minutes that we got out of the people in day two last year in NPF and Roger McCreary. But I will say the upside this year with Tajay Spears coming in, finally giving us some depth at running back if he can stay on the field, and then Will Levis if he can develop into be that franchise quarterback. Who knows? But y'all let me know down in the comments who y'all think was better, last year's day two or this year's. All right, this is where Rand Carthon said this is when the scouting work really comes into the draft. We'll compare this year's day three to last year's day three. Of course, there's way more picks in last year's. So let's get into it. You had Hassan Haskins, running back out of Michigan. A lot of people felt like he was a hard runner in short yardage situations, but lacked a little bit of the explosiveness that we thought we may get out of him coming from a big school like Michigan. Chig winds up being, I would say, the most productive player out of the rookie class last year. To me, he was the best rookie tight end in the league. I feel like he really carried our offense at some point, giving us an option, ways to get chunk plays down the field. Last pick in the fourth round, very, very high quality player. Made everybody forget about Jonnu Smith instantly. And then Kyle Phillips, guy that comes in, a guy that we really needed to gel in our offense, makes the big catch in the Giants game. Randy Bullock missed the field goal, but then muffs like 4 punts on special teams in the first quarter of the season and gets hurt and is not there. Well, we really need a guy to be solid in the slot. So that was a major disappointment. Theo Jackson, a Tennessee guy, come in at safety. Kalu and Andrew Adams wind up playing more time in that role in those safety slots, with Amani Hooker missing a pretty big portion of the year. And then Theo Jackson wound up finishing his season on the Vikings in their playoff run. Then you get the Chance Campbell, a guy that was injured last year, that pretty much didn't play, a big physical linebacker when we needed depth at the linebacker position. Hopefully he'll be healthy. We can see what he's able to do this year. This year, Josh Wiley, tight end out of Cincinnati, I think is going to be an impact player in our offense with Swain and Hooper gone, pairing him with Chig, getting him vertical up the field, a red zone threat. I think the kid is going to be special. Jalen Duncan, a guy that probably should have got drafted before where he did. Some people question his motivation, but even though a very athletic tackle to give us depth at a position that we really struggled at last year, with Taylor Lewan going out, LaRaven Clark having to trade for Dennis Daly and that being a complete flop. This year is one of the reasons why we have less picks than we did last year. And then finally, the last pick, the shot in the dark, Colton Dowell, a big physical burner on the outside, a guy that we hope can develop into a number 2 type receiver, but it is a 7th round pick. I like the day 3 better this year's draft than last year's, with the exception of Chig. And Chig could wind up being the true superstar on the team on the offense, period, next to the Derrick Henry. In my mind, I think everybody's expecting big things out of him. But you tell me, what do y'all think? Who had the better draft, John Robinson last year or Rand Carthon this year? I'm going to give it to Rand this year from the quality number of picks with less picks of guys I think that will step up and be starters for our team going forward. And just looming over the head, the A.J. Brown trade to get last year's draft, I feel like was a complete disaster after already parting ways with Julio Jones to try to get those deals done. You look at the offseason this year, Rand's been able to keep Bayard, Derrick Henry, and get Jeffrey Simmons on the contract, and make a few moves in the draft to bring in some young talent that the fan base at least get to talking and be excited about. And then we'll see what happens with Ryan Tannehill. But y'all let me know down in the comments, do you think the Tennessee Titan draft this year was better than last year? And if you're not a Titan fan, if you just follow, do you think your team had a better draft this year or last year? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll be dropping more content, live streams twice a day on Facebook. Check the link tree down below. Appreciate y'all, and I'm out.